Two dudes in a cage. We are back for another analysis and prediction event. UFC 282. We are your hosts. I'm Charles Clark.
And I'm Matt Johnson.
And this card is absolutely stacked, Matt. I'm so excited about this one. What about last week's fights, though, man? That main event versus Kevin Holland and Stephen Thompson, man, dude, that was a great fight. What'd you think about that?
I like the first round, the gentleman's agreement of we're just going to stand and bang.
Yeah.
And Stephen Thompson, 39 years old, looks amazing. I don't know what kind of stuff's in the South Carolina water, but he looked like in his prime.
Let me get some of that. Yeah, I know. I mean, it gives me, I know, watching him fight gives me hope that maybe I can still have a couple good performances in me, at my age. I was like, man, the dude is fast. He is just on point. Like that's what I hope to strike like, but probably never will.
Kevin Holland has the hardest head in the UFC.
Dude, he took some heavy shots from Thompson. That's what I was thinking too. Like, man, those were some hard shots.
Yeah, it's hard when, like, obviously, your hand is weak. That's why you have to tape it up, but just taking those shots on his hand and a wheel kick breaks your hand. That's ridiculous.
Gotta hurt blocking it, and oh man, hit right on the heel. Yeah. Oh, and I heard Holland's gonna need surgery too. So
yeah,
man, you got messed up good.
I like that the corner. I mean, obviously, but I know the commentator said the corner stopped it, but right before Perez turned around and waved it off, Holland said, "You got to get this glove off my hand." So Holland knew, he couldn't win because he couldn't throw his most powerful strike with his right hand. And the corner just saying, let's get healthy and be able to fight another day.
Yeah.
You don't see that often. It was good to see.
Yeah, you're right. It was. You're right. I did like that. That was good. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, enough about that event. Let's get into UFC 282. What do we got first?
All right, so the first fight is Cameron Saaiman versus Stephen Koslow. Both of them are, first fights in the UFC. Both are undefeated.
Yeah.
Both are grapplers, which is good for Cameron because he was going to fight Ronnie Lawrence, out of Tennessee. Yeah. And both of those were grapplers as well. So he didn't have to really change his fight camp to get prepared for this. I'm sure Koslow, coming off the regional circuit, constantly training because you take any opportunity you get, you're going to take it to better your career. So I'm assuming both of them are going to be in shape, ready to fight. It's going to be a technical grappling match, but I think Cameron's going to get it done.
Yeah, man. I'm definitely with you on this one. I think Cameron's taking this one home, but I'm really interested in this matchup as well because both these guys, like you said, they're coming in to fight. They're going to be in great shape, undefeated. I mean, Cameron has 4 KOs, 1 sub. Stephen has 6 subs. So I mean, Cameron may have to watch out for that takedown and a sub finish, but other than that, I think Cameron's going to get the victory here. Should be a good first fight with 2 up-and-coming prospects. Man, next up, though, we have Vinicius Salvador versus Daniel Da Silva. Man, Vinicius, man, most people don't know who this guy is, but he's got 13 KOs, man, and 1 sub. It's pretty impressive. Whereas Daniel, he's a boxer, and he has 5 KOs and 6 subs. I think Daniel tries to focus on his boxing a little too much in MMA fights, and that might get him into a little bit of trouble here because Vinicius has 13 KOs on his record. He probably doesn't want to play a boxing game with him, but I think he probably will, and he probably won't try and get a takedown on him, and it's going to cost him the fight. So I'm picking Vinicius to win.
2 for 2. I agree. Vinicius, he's a striker, mad power.
Mm-hmm.
His one submission is a knee bar, which is crazy.
Right.
De Silva, like you said, he's a boxer. He is well rounded though. He's got a good, submissions. He does have knockout power, but he doesn't really shoot for takedowns, and I think that's going to be his downfall in this fight.
Yeah.
I worry for Salvador is 9 of his finishes have been in the first round. Silva could try to push him into the deeper water, but without using takedowns, it's not going to happen, and Salvador's going to get the victory.
Yeah. Yeah. If he just tries to push a boxing pace on him, it's probably not going to be good enough to wear him down. Yeah. But if he mixed in takedowns, he'd start breathing a lot harder. Yeah. 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 So you don't have to worry about him grinding it out, probably.
Yeah. Which I would love to see De Silva grind, but he's just never really done it in any of his fights, and I don't see it changing now.
Right. Right.
Next fight, this is gonna be a good one. We got TJ Brown versus Erik Silva. So TJ, really good takedown success. He is a grappler, and his striking accuracy isn't too bad. He's 44%, but he does really well when he changes his levels. He's got the dominant cruise style of level change, which is good. Silva is a grappler that has 71% striking accuracy. And, Brown is a consistent fighter. He holds a good pace, and he does really well mixing it up. And I think that Silva is going to get a takedown, and he's got that smother style, and that's going to give him the edge. So I'm going with Erik Silva in this one.
Nice. TJ, he's a BJJ black belt, got 4 KOs, 9 subs. He can finish a fight. Erik, 3 KOs, 4 subs. Man, this is the odds are this is a pick'em fight. They're saying these guys are pretty evenly matched. What I see, I think Erik Silva was like 9-1. Where TJ Brown is like 16 and 8 or something and 9. He's racked up quite a few losses. I feel like Erik Silva's kind of still coming up. And I think he's probably going to be a little bit more hungry and want it more in this fight, and that's why I'm picking Erik to win too. Yeah, for sure. Ooh, next up, my boy OSP from Knoxville, Tennessee. I've seen him fight live like 3 times versus Antonio Trocoli. Man, OSP, shout out Tennessee, Knoxville. He's a BJJ brown belt. He's got 11 KOs, 9 subs. What's good about OSP is just he's a natural athlete. He was a wrestler. He played collegiate football for the University of Tennessee. He's mostly known for his Von Flue wind chokes. He has like 4 of them, something like that. He's got a lot of them, but he also has a lot of KO power. Antonio Trocoli, man, he's got 3 KOs, 5 subs. He's coming from Dana White Contender Series. So when I look at him versus OSP, I just see someone that's really young and newer to the game compared to OSP, who's been fighting for a long time professionally and been an athlete for a long time. I do know he's getting older and he's kind of had some rough patches, but I feel like OSP is going to win this one.
Yeah, talk about veteran versus newcomer.
Yeah.
And this is a good fight for Trocoli because, like you said, OSP has had his ups and downs, but OSP is always dangerous because when he gets those Von Flues, the opponent doesn't know that he has it until they're tapping.
Yeah,
that's how smooth he is with that. And it just shows the amount of practice he's had. He's well-rounded.
I can't ever get a Von Flue in practice. Never. It's hard.
I think Trocoli he's gonna be a good opponent, but his experience is gonna be his downfall in this one. And I'm gonna say OSP is gonna get back to the winning column.
Let's go.
All right. By the way, that one was another one that was added to this card. They're just adding them on because Gustafson fell out.
Yeah. Which I'm glad they did that actually.
Yeah, get these fighters in. Last big card.
Yeah.
All right, next fight. I'm gonna switch it up. We got Alexander the Great Hernandez versus Billy Quarantillo. Well, what can we say about Billy other than he's a BJJ black belt, but his takedowns, it's weird. He's a BJJ black belt, but his takedowns aren't the best.
Pulls guard.
Yeah, pulls guard, maybe gets a trip, but he's very telegraphic when he tries to do it. And sorry. All right, we're back. Alex Hernandez, he's coming down in weight. He usually fights at 155. He's coming down to 145. So he's gonna be the bigger guy. But he was doing really good till he met Cerrone and got completely demolished. But I think he's a good striker, but Billy's gonna get it done. He's more accurate and he's more comfortable on the ground. So I'm going Billy.
Yeah. I like Billy. He pushes the pace, kind of like Michael Chandler in a fight. He's very aggressive, which I need to learn from. I need to be more aggressive. Well, we're not talking about me. I don't know why I keep mentioning me. Sorry. Billy is a BJJ black belt. He's got 8 KOs, 5 subs. Yeah. I really like his in-your-face style, honestly. Alexander's a black belt as well. 6 KOs, 2 subs. But I think it's like you said. I think this primarily be more of a striking match, and I think Billy is the better striker. He's more accurate. He's more efficient with his strikes. He'll just be more on point. I am picking Billy to win. I didn't know that Alexander coming down in weight. I don't like that. That could be bad for Billy. But I'm still gonna pick Billy.
It could be bad for Alexander.
Yeah.
It's his first fight, and we have seen a lot of fighters come down, think they have the strength advantage, and then the weight cut is just too much. And you never know until you get into the fight. You can practice a weight cut, but it's practice.
Yeah. You're just practicing the weight cut. You're not going in and having a fight after the weight cut,
Yeah.
And you don't really know how well you're gonna perform. Yeah. Those big weight cuts they can get you. They really can.
Yeah.
Or just not cutting weight right, just not doing it correctly, and it's just not rehydrating correctly and things like that. And next up, we got another striking fight. Chris Curtis versus Joaquin Buckley. Chris is actually a BJJ purple belt. He was a pro boxer, even though he only had like a couple of pro fights, I think. He's got 14 KOs, 3 subs. Man, dude, this dude's got some hands. I mean, he's got a really solid jab. He's kind of a little less active, though. I would like to see more out of him. Just kind of throw a little bit more per minute. Joaquin, he's got 11 KOs. This dude is known for his crazy highlight reels. I think this is going to be a good striking match. Joaquin Buckley is favored in this fight, but I just think it's because he has these crazy striking KOs. Man, Chris is the underdog, but honestly, I'm picking him to win, man. I think Chris is gonna beat him. I think Chris is gonna get a knockout on Joaquin.
Ooh, that's
I know.
Bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off. So with this one, I think they're gonna have that gentleman agreement too. Like, let's just stand and bang. Chris Curtis lands almost 6 strikes per minute compared to Joaquin's, 3.61 is the number. but the difference between Joaquin and Curtis is range management. Curtis pushes forward. Joaquin, the Enziguri style knockout. It's very flashy and unpredictable. And I think that's going to be the difference. I think he's not going to let it be a regular striking match. He's going to mix up his weird style, and it's going to catch Curtis, make him a little hesitant. And I think that's going to be the factor that plays in, and Joaquin's going to get the win.
Okay, I like it.
Getting attacked over here.
Yeah, I see.
The neighbor has a roof on the ladder, and he's freaking out.
What's going on?
Yeah. All right, next fight. We got Edmen Shahbazyan versus Dalcha Lungiambula. So Edmen, he was the talk of the town. He was the next big thing. And honestly, we all, most of us knew his coach wasn't the best fit for him. He's very talented, but his coach is very one-sided. Ronda Rousey's coach. He left. He's now with Extreme Couture. He's been there for, I believe, a year now. And Dalcha's a judo fighter, which matches up well with Shahbazyan. And I think 3-fight losing streak for both these fighters. So I think Dalcha needs it more than Edmen in popularity and staying on the UFC roster. But unfortunately for him, it's not going to work his way. I got Edmen taking this one.
You do?
Switching it up.
Yeah.
It's his pace. Like, for, 185, he's got a really good pace management.
Yeah, dudes. Yeah. Man, Edmen, like you said, man, he was once like the top prospect in all of MMA. I mean, he's a black belt in Shotokan karate. He's got 9 KOs, 1 sub. He was Ronda's protege. Yeah, I think this will be a good striking match. Dalcha is a boxer. He's got 3 KOs, 3 subs. He pushes the pace. His stand-up's on point. Like in that Cody Brundage fight, man, he was honestly taking it to Cody Brundage, and Cody got with that standing guillotine. He just kind of had his head down and just got caught. But like you said, both these guys are on a losing streak. I feel like Ed doesn't really want it, I mean, he wants to be there, but it just doesn't seem like he wants to be a world champion. It seems like he can be broken sometimes in a fight. And I think Dalcha's, like you said, if he loses, he's probably going to get released, to whereas Ed probably won't get released if he loses.
So do you think the hunger for Edmen was gym culture, or do you think it's just like the way he acts and carries himself pre-fight?
The way he acts and carries himself. Yeah. I mean, he's a great fighter and he's got great power, but it seems like that he is just a fighter because he's good at it, not because he wants to be. It's that he became a fighter just because that's what he was good at, not because he's in love with the sport, not because he's diehard passionate, want to give his life to be a world champion. I just don't see that in him. I just don't. When I look at him, when I watch him fight, like dude's got all the talent in the world, but I think something in his heart is missing in the fight game. I think Dalcha's gonna win. He's an underdog in this fight as well, but I think Dalcha's winning this fight.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right, you got the next one?
I can't remember. Now, all right, next up, I always do that. We have Raul Rosas Jr. versus Perrin. Raul, if you don't know, he's the youngest dude ever to fight in the UFC, maybe in all of MMA general. I don't know. He's 17. I don't know. He might be 18 now, but it's on Dana White Contender Series. Man, for this dude being 17, man, he's undefeated. He's got some heart. He's got heart and he has good fight IQ. He knows positions. He knows what to do. He knows how to change positions. I mean, he showed some amazing talent already to me. Jay Perrin, he's got 2 KOs, 4 subs. He's a karate. I feel like this is a lose-lose situation for Jay almost, honestly, because if he wins, he beat the 17-year-old. If he loses, he lost to the 17-year-old. It's kind of a tough predicament, and I almost kind of feel bad for Jay, but I think Raw's going to win this fight, man. I think Raw's going to come in. He's hungry. He wants that shit. I mean, if you look at his face, at 17, his face is more messed up than mine, you know, and mine's starting to get pretty messed up. My nose and my cheek, and that dude's, like, compare him to Ed, like, he wants it, bro. That dude will
in the shit.
Yeah. That dude will give his life to be a champion. I'm like, he will literally go brain dead and, have dementia and be shaky when he's older, but he's going to be a world champion.
Yeah.
Ed, on the other hand, he likes fighting. He might love it, but I don't think he wants to give his life for it.
Yeah. I like how you say, it's a lose-lose for Jay Perrin. Like, if he wins, a lot of people are like, oh, you beat a kid.
Right.
But it also goes back to, like, Raul. If he loses, then everyone's like, oh, you weren't ready. You're just a kid. Mm-hmm. This is a man's sport. And after watching his Contender Series, when he threw a flying knee, pulled back, and went straight into a high double leg, it just shows the level of fight IQ. It's going to be tough for Perrin. He is more of a striker, which he's got pretty decent takedown defense.
Yeah.
But Raul's, he's young, he's hungry, and he's really got one opportunity to prove I am ready for this big step in competition. And I think Jay's a perfect test for this. And I agree with you. I think Rosas, he's going to pass the test. And I think he's going to get a second round finish.
Nice. I'm rooting for you, Rosa.
Yeah. All right. Next fight we got is Jairzinho Rozenstruik versus Chris Daukaus. Rozenstruik, he's a kickboxing powerhouse. He's got really good footwork and really good timing. And Daukaus is a BJJ black belt, but he's a powerful striker, but his defense, it lacks. It seems that he blocks more punches with his face than he does with his hands. But both fighters are on a 2-fight losing streak. Obviously, Rozenstruik's losing streak are, top 5, where Daukaus' losing streak are not. So this will be a good fight for Rozenstruik to get back on the winning track. I'm not saying Daukaus can't get it done, but I'm saying Daukaus isn't going to be able to get this one done. I got Rozenstruik in this.
Yeah, I like Jar, man, dude. Like he said, he was a kickboxer. His record was 76-8-1 as a kickboxer. I mean, just to have that many fights is amazing to me. And then out of 12 MMA fights, he has 11 KOs. Like you said, Chris is a BJJ black belt, though. So, if he could get Jairzinho to the ground, maybe he could have some issues.
I think if he does get him to the ground, if it's in the later rounds, if they make it that far, but I think Rozenstruik's just too strong that he'll just buck him off.
Okay, nice. You think Chris won't be able to hold him down?
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, I like you said, I think Chris has a puncher's chance, but I think Jairzinho is gonna win this one. Yeah, I think I think what happened with the Daukaus brothers is they performed really well against lower level guys, and they got pushed up too far too quick. Neither one of them got time to properly build and develop and learn from fighting experience, and they got pushed into the top 10, top 5 too soon. And that sucks, you know. But yeah, I think Dreams is winning. All right. Next up, my boy Bryce Mitchell, Tennessee. Next to Surrogate? No. Next to, he's from Arkansas, next to Tennessee. Versus Ilia Topuria. Man, Bryce Mitchell, man, I've been following this dude's career since he was an amateur fighting for V3 back in the day, man. Like, Bryce Mitchell is the truth, dude. He's a BJJ black belt. He's got 9 subs. He's a great, amazing wrestler. I mean, he will always be able to take you down, but dude thinks the earth is flat. Ilia, man, he's a BJJ black belt. He's got 4 KOs, 7 subs. He's undefeated. He's a Greco-Roman wrestler. What is a Greco-Roman wrestler? I'm glad you asked. Greco-Roman wrestling just means wrestling with no touch below the hips. It means you can't grab the legs. You can't use the legs to trip. It's all grabs from above the hip and using your upper body strength to take somebody down. That being said, this could make for an interesting matchup between the two of them. Honestly, dude, I'm having a hard time picking in this fight because I really like Bryce Mitchell, but I know how good Ilia Topuria is as well. Yeah, it's really hard, but I think Bryce will be his usual self and grind out the win, honestly.
Yeah, he stole it from me. I was going to introduce him as Bryce the Flat Earther Mitchell. But even though he says he has proof and he wants to go at Joe Rogan, I really want him to win just so we can see what the post-fight interview is with Joe Rogan.
Yes. Oh, man.
But like you said, you know, Ilia he's amazing with his takedowns, and a lot of grapplers have issues with his takedowns because they are more of the top of the body takedowns and not the, you know, you can't sprawl when they've got you shouldered up.
Right.
But, you know, Bryce, BJJ black belt, grappler. I did notice the UFC has him as 15-1, but everywhere else I look, it has him at 15 or 16-0. So I'm pretty sure they're both undefeated.
Oh.
Yeah. When I seen that, I was like, what? So, you know, Google tells me that he's undefeated, but he might not be. I can't trust Google.
You never know anymore, honestly.
Yeah.
Records are incomplete, you know, these days.
Yeah, it could be one of those Sugar Sean moments where, you know, in his mind, he didn't lose.
Right.
But with this fight, I think Mitchell's pace and not really his pace, but his pressure, I think that's going to be the swaying factor, and he's going to have control. He's going to do a little more damage than Ilia, and he's going to get a victory.
Yeah.
Flat Earth, stay flat for one more day.
Flat Earth wins another fight.
Speaking of Flat Earth, I just came across the Logan Paul mockumentary. Hilarious. Oh my God. It is hilarious.
I'm gonna have to watch that, dude.
Next fight, we got Darren Till versus Dricus du Plessis. That's a tongue twister of a name.
All right. I would have said it wrong.
I would have said it wrong until I heard Bisping say it on the fight this weekend.
Yeah.
Darren Till is a Muay Thai fighter, and he's not done the best in his last fights, but it's interesting that he has now buddied up with Hamzat.
Yeah.
You know, he's one of the main training partners of Hamzat, and you know that's going to rub off on Till in a way. And I feel sorry if Plessis tries to take him down because I don't think Till, obviously probably gets taken down by Hamzat, but I don't think Till's gonna be as easy to get down as he was in the past. Dricus on paper matches up really well with Till. He's 5-0 in his last five, where Till's 1-4 in his last five. But I think Till's gonna get it done. He's got a little more octagon experience, and I'm going with Till on this one.
Interesting. Man, Darren Till is a BJJ purple belt. He's got great Muay Thai. He's got great Muay Thai that he's adapted to the sport of MMA as well, which I really like. He's got 10 KOs, 2 subs. Like you said, he's lost 4 out of his last 5 fights. He's kind of in a tough spot. He's really good with his range, man. He sets up his jabs. He sets up his shots really well using his jabs, and it's very effective. Dricus, he's a kickboxer, like you said, 7 KOs, but he's got 9 subs. Even with Darren Till training with Saaiman and that, just looking at his recent streak of fights and Dricus's, I think I'm going to pick Du Plessis to win this fight. Don't think Darren Till's gonna pull it off, man. If he wins this fight, though, I see Darren Till coming back. I just feel like something happened to him, man. There's something wrong that he just can't quite figure out, and he just keeps falling short. But dude has amazing skill. Like, dude is so talented, bro. And he wants it. He has the heart. I mean, he's given his life to this sport. It's just there's just some kind of thing missing that he can't quite get. But if he wins this fight, if he beats Dricus, he's gonna be on a comeback for sure. But I just think Dricus is too strong. I mean, dude's on a come up. I think dude might even be a champion someday, honestly.
I think the UFC kind of screwed Till a little bit because he was, the next Michael Bisping. He was gonna take over for England.
Yeah.
It kind of pushed him to the top level and didn't really let him, not test him, but didn't give him the slow steps.
Yeah, he's another one of those guys that
second or third fight in, he was fighting a top 10 guy.
Yeah,
and I just think that broke his confidence.
Right. There's not many people that can do that, There's not like Cosmo. There's only a handful of people that can jump from 20 to the top 10.
Yeah.
It's not realistic. It takes years and years to develop skills. And most of the time people are still developing when they get to the UFC. Like Hazmat was already really well developed. So he was over experienced before he got there.
Yeah.
That's why he was able to.
Yeah, the John Jones, Henry Cejudo, but Cejudo was groomed for Olympic. That. Yeah, him and Cormier, you can't really count them because they had all the facing high level people at 18, but like John Jones, you can even say O'Malley, Connor, Hamzat, but like you said, a handful of guys, and Darren Till just wasn't ready, and I think that broke his confidence a little bit.
Yeah, it broke his confidence. Yep, for sure.
You got it.
Robbie Lawler, man, I always forget. Robbie Lawler versus Santiago Ponzinibbio. I probably said that wrong. My bad, bro. Man, Robbie Lawler, man. Everybody, if you know anything about fighting, you know who Robbie Lawler is. Man, he was a champion. Dude's been around. He's fought in a ton of organizations. 21 KOs. Man, 1 sub. Dude's got power. He's got emotion. He's got grit. What I find interesting about Robbie Lawler though is like he usually starts off really strong. This is only a 3-round fight, so you probably won't see it as much. But like in his 5-round fights, Robbie always starts really strong, and then like in the middle, he kind of like takes off around, eases up, and then he finishes strong again to like make a good impression on the judge. And it seems like he always does that. I just find that interesting about Robbie. Santiago is a BJJ black belt. He's got 17 KOs, 6 subs. Santiago, he's kind of in a bit of a rough patch himself with a few losses. Santiago is favored to win this fight by a lot, honestly. He's like -4 or 300 or something like that. I guess it just all depends on what Robbie Lawler we get. Sometimes it just seems like Robbie Lawler doesn't show up to fight. Everybody has their off days, especially as long as he's been doing it. Some days you show up to work and you just don't want to work, man. We're all human. I get it. I'm hoping Robbie comes in hard. I feel like Robbie's probably getting towards the end of his career. Maybe even the end of his contract. Maybe not. He probably has a lot of fights on his I don't know. But I feel like since he's getting more and more towards the end of his career, he's gonna want to keep that in mind, and he's gonna try and go out with a bang and not lackluster performances. So I'm picking Robbie to win.
So do you think Santiago is a favorite because Robbie Lawler is 40?
I think age. How old is Santiago?
I want to say he is, let me pull it up, but I'm pretty sure he's 36, I think.
Oh,
I mean, they're both up there, but
anytime there's like a 10-year age gap in between, the younger person is always going to be favored. It seems like genuinely. I have a hard time trying to figure out why he was favored, because he's coming off a loss to I just think they're probably looking at, Santiago had a great performance against Michael Piero.
Yes.
That was a great fight, honestly.
Yeah.
And if you compare that to like some of Robbie's last performances, I think that's probably why he's the favorite.
Yeah. I think, Robbie, obviously Nate Diaz, the rematch, but in that fight, right when the bell rang, it's like, oh, Nate doesn't want to be there. The Robbie Lawler, Ben Askren, did he tap? Did he not? No. He's had a lot of questionable fights.
Yeah.
But he's still at 40 fighting, the top guys. And every time when he has a good outing, he wins. When he has a bad day in the office, it doesn't go his way. Santiago, he does like to grapple. I don't know if this is Robbie Lawler's retirement fight, but it's not a good matchup in the sense of, Santiago's level of grappling.
Yeah.
But I would love to see Robbie win, but I really think Ponzinibbio is going to get a finish.
Yeah. Maybe I'm probably just picking Robbie because I like him, honestly, which is bad.
It's so hard not to with him.
Yeah, it's so hard. Don't bet on this fight. Don't bet on Robbie because you like him.
Yeah. This next fight, a couple weeks ago, I was like, oh, this is going to be a cakewalk. But then, like, looking into it and the way, like, it's Paddy Pimblett versus Jared Gordon.
Yeah.
Paddy seems to be dismissing Jared Gordon. He's talking shit to Jake Paul. And it's like, yeah, you fought Jordan Leavitt, who is good, but he's not at your level. Jared Gordon is a perfect matchup to test Paddy. This one got moved up as co-main event. And Jared Gordon really has more to lose than Patty, because Patty wins, he keeps his ascension. He's going to continue to grow. You could be the guy that says, "Don't doubt me," doubt me now. And Patty has a tendency of getting hit, getting wobbled, and then starting to fight. And Jared Gordon has that power that he might not have the, oh, I got wobbled, now I got to start fighting.
Yeah.
He's
not going to
that. He's more of a decision fighter, but he still has that power that can sit you down. And he's got that pressure that isn't going to let you, remove the cobwebs.
Yeah.
But I think Patty's going to do what Patty has done, and he's going to get a win. Don't doubt Jared Gordon. I can't believe he was like, Jared who?
Right, dude. He's like, you're right, dude. He completely has just like thrown, but maybe that's part of it, like his mental warfare tactics of trying to get in his head, because I saw a bunch of that too. He's like, oh no, who's he gonna? I saw a few things. One of them was like, who is Jared gonna bring in to train to match my style? Nobody can match my style. I'm so unorthodox. And then Jared who? And but yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Like, damn, bro, you are like, has he gotten full of himself, or is it like a mental warfare type of thing? But yeah. Patty is a BJJ black belt. Jared Gordon's a BJJ brown belt. Yeah, I don't think Jared is one to be dismissed, by no means at all. But yeah, Patty always just seems to pull it off, man. I don't know how he does it. But yeah, I think if Jared does lands a good shot on him, he definitely can finish him for sure.
I think one thing about Patty is he's been before he even came to the UFC, he was selling out the O2 Arena in a regional level card.
Right.
And I just think that the amount of pressure just doesn't get to him because he's so polarizing that he's dealt with it his entire career.
Yeah, true. Yep.
Way bigger than Connor.
He is born to be a star. Like, yeah. I mean, it's hard to deal with,
Yeah.
It is. It really is.
He's, he's still humble. He rings someone's doorbell because he couldn't pick up his dog's poop and just, wanted to let him know and ask for water. So good for him.
Yeah, right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. What do you think happens to Patty if he loses, though? Does that really wreck his name, or is it just a minor setback, you think?
I think for him, it's just a minor setback because he's not fighting ranked guys yet.
Yeah.
That they're setting him up that if he does stumble, it's an easier buildup. You give Jared a top 10 guy. If he wins, then, he goes. Where you give Patty another unranked guy, he wins. Now you give him top 10 guy.
Yeah, right. That makes sense.
Yeah, they're really doing the slow build with Patty, which is good.
Yeah, that's smart. Maybe they finally learned some lessons. Maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah.
And maybe the guys that they did throw in there, they really thought did have the talent to excel at that level, and they just realized that maybe not,
Yeah. Well, I think this is the first one that kind of matches well with Patty, the grappling, because, be black belt, brown belt, where Leavitt was a wrestler, not much. I think he was a blue belt. So,
yeah.
So they're starting to get him to top level guys, and everyone that he's fought does have, knockout potential. So they're testing him, but they're testing him to his advantages and not his disadvantages.
Right. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. In the main event for the strap, it's the championship time for the vacant one, actually. Jan Blachowicz versus Magomedov Ankalaev. Yeah, like you said, Jiri, you were the one that notified me. Jiri vacated the belt. I was like, what? That's good on him. That's cool. Kind of weird at the same time. Good on him. But now we get this fight for the strap. Man, Jan, he just had this title not that long ago. He lost it. He's a BJJ black belt. He's got Muay Thai. He's got 9 KOs, 9 subs. Magomed is a Sambo master. Like, he's officially a master at Sambo. 9 KOs, 1 sub. He's also a Greco-Roman wrestler. His style, he doesn't really look to finish you, though. His style is more of takedown and ground and pound, which is very similar to Jan's style as well. He looks for the takedown and ground and pound. I'm very interested to see how these two present that. Does that mean this is going to turn into more of a striking match between the two? Maybe. Yeah. Or is one of them going to always be looking for a takedown? Probably not. Maybe. Magomed could probably be looking more for takedowns than striking, as where Jan's going to be striking more and less takedowns. This is a really good matchup, honestly. It sucks that I'm going first on it because I have yet to pick someone to win this fight. I really am having a hard time trying to pick a winner in this. So I'm gonna let you go first.
All right. So with Yuri, shows how much heart he has to identify. I believe he already had the surgery, and it's 6 to 9 month recovery time, and he didn't want to hold up the division. They actually offered Glover Magomed, and he said, "No, I'm good. It's too much difference in training and too short of a time." So with that, we have, Jan, who's got the Polish power. Like you said, 9 wins, sub, 9-win KO. And we got Magomed, who he's got good striking. If they both decide to stand up, this is not going to be a Ben Askren versus Damian Maia striking battle.
Right.
This will be a good, straight up the middle jabs, hooks, uppercuts. Magomed has that pressure that I think he's going to march forward and he's going to put Jan on his back foot. Jan isn't a counter striker. And if he gets against that cage, Magomed's going to lay on it, wear on him, get him to the ground, go to the ground and pound. And I just think after 3-4 rounds, then he's going to start opening up on his striking. And I got Magomed to become the second Dagestani champion this year.
Nice. Cool. Yeah. You think he's going to grind it out, be able to get the takedowns on Jan? Yeah, I can see him getting some takedowns, honestly, on Jan. Yeah, I like Jan. Like, he's got that power, and he's an amazing fighter, honestly. But what if? I wonder what happens if he gets hurt again, though, too, honestly, during the fight. What if?
Honor.
Yeah.
It was Rakic that got hurt against Jan.
When he pulled his leg back, that's what it was.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so no worry there. Oof. Yeah, I think you're right. I think Magomed's gonna win. Yeah. I'd like to see Jan win, but yeah, he probably won't be able to deal with that pressure that well. So
yeah, because even when he fought Izzy, when the first couple of rounds when Izzy was pushing forward, Jan was having trouble getting his timing down, and then he shot for the takedown, got it easily. Obviously, not because Izzy can't defend a takedown, but because the weight difference and the momentum.
Yeah.
But once he got Izzy down, Izzy kind of that was the moment that the fight shifted in Jan's favor.
Yeah.
Izzy was pushing forward, and then boom, Jan was like, "Oh, I could take him down." And so I think a little of that helped Jan with his takedown accuracy, and I don't think that's going to work with Magomed. And Magomed's not going to dive across the cage to get you down.
Right.
This is like the best matchup on the card because they both have the power. They both have the, grappling.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a good main event for sure.
Yeah, and they're both like their stats on UFC 3.5, 3.64 for strikes landed per minute, 2.7 to 2.14 for strikes absorbed per minute.
Very, very close.
Yeah, everything is like within, just like boom, just a little bit.
Yeah, that makes for a good fight for sure.
Yeah. And I think it's gonna be 5 rounds. If there is a finish, it'll be probably 3rd, 4th round, but I really think these two guys are gonna have 25 minutes of just war.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it for sure. Yeah.
And then I think obviously the last big card. I think we have one more event this year after.
Yeah, what is it? It's like the Strickland fight, I think.
Yeah, Cannonier versus Strickland.
Yeah. I think that closes out the year.
Yep.
I don't know. Not very exciting main event, honestly. I don't know. Strickland kind of not that impressive, honestly.
It's really the only the rest of the card. It's okay, but not many fan favorite names. You got obviously Bruce Leroy, Alex Caceres against Julian Erosa. That'll be a good one, but other than that, it's a lot of up and comers getting their shine on.
Yeah. That sometimes it makes for good fights though, interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, after we got these next 2 weeks, and then we have almost a month off.
Wow.
Yeah, January 14th is the next one after the 17th of December.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Holiday shutdown, I guess.
Yeah. It's good that they do that though, because it does give the fighters time to spend with their family.
Right. Yeah, it gives them time to take an actual real break.
Yeah.
I agree. Cool. Well, that was the UFC 282 analysis and prediction by two dudes and a cage. We hope you win some money. Man, our last event, we picked them all. We're getting better at this. We're getting good. We're dialing it in. We hope you keep watching. We hope you keep subscribing. We're happy that you're checking us out.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Comment below and let's have some fun.
Yeah, comment. We need more interaction. So let us know what you think. But just don't talk crap because we talk crap back.
Yes, we do.
All right, two dudes in a cage.